Hi, welcome to Foreclosure Friday. I'm Dan Howell with Coldwell Banker. So today we have a very special announcement, but not only that, we have a very special guest. We have Barb Sedunov with Sale Mortgage. She should be here shortly. So let's take a look. Come on in, Barb.
Hi, how
nice
are
to
you?
have you. Very nice. Come on in.
How you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Same here.
So
That's nice.
Well, it is a very nice house.
Yeah.
Well, which actually brings me to our announcement. But I just wanted to introduce Barb. Barb is with Sale Mortgage. I always tell everybody one of the most important parts of a real estate transaction is the components that go into it. So by having the components, such as a great lender, your deal goes a lot better. Absolutely. So Barb and I have done quite a few together, and we have quite a few more coming down the line as well.
Yes, we do.
But you are here for a very special turning point in Foreclosure Friday.
Wonderful.
So we haven't been doing foreclosures lately because we're kind of running out of foreclosures to do, and I can't go in all of these foreclosures. Like a lot of the banks just won't permit advertising like this. So we're switching some things around a little bit. We're going to do, we're changing our name. Our name is now going to be For Sale Friday. And For Sale Friday, we're going to feature different things. So like this is going to be the flipping edition. So somebody actually flipped this house here in Jeannette. And so it's going to be a Foreclosure Friday flipping edition. And then if we do the foreclosure, we're going to do Foreclosure Friday, For Sale Friday foreclosure edition. And then maybe we'll get a nice house. We can do a fancy edition or something. I don't know, something. We'll keep the F's going. But also, if anybody has any questions for Barb while we go along with this, please ask. Anybody wants to tell Barb hello, by all means, tell her hello as well. But starting off, Barb, so I guess one of the biggest things there's a lot of misconceptions that I run into when people come to me, so for example, the one I get the most is everybody comes to me and goes, I can't buy a house, because I call people all the time. I bug people all the time. I ask people to buy houses all the time. So the biggest objection I get is people say, I don't have 20% down, I can't buy a house. What do you run into? Yeah, right. Of course, it's not true. But what do you run into?
A lot of people think just because they don't have enough of a down payment or they haven't been in a job long enough that there are not options out there. The best thing to always do is to talk to a loan officer, such as myself, and go over maybe what your situation is, because there's a lot of times that you can qualify for a mortgage and you're just not aware that you're able to at this point.
Everybody's situation is different.
Everybody's,
absolutely.
Yes.
So let me think. So what else can we tell? So there's different types of loans out there. And a lot of different types of loans that people don't know about, or maybe people forget about, such as, I know around here, well, not necessarily in Jeannette, some parts of Jeannette, are USDA loans.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the USDA loans?
Sure.
I feel like a lot more people can get into that and can use that because it's such a great product, and it gets a lot of people into the house that may not have a ton of money.
Right. The USDA loans is actually, it's a 100% financing program. So what you have is if your purchase price is $100,000, your loan amount is actually $100,000. So you can get into that with very little money out of pocket, and sometimes no money out of pocket, just depending on if the seller's assisting with your closing cost. The nice thing is with the USDA loan, it is, how do I want to word this? It is in certain areas. So there's
Correct.
a lot of Westmoreland County, Fayette County, Washington County, Armstrong County that are USDA eligible.
You pretty much rule out Allegheny.
Yes.
Yeah. So USDA is not in city. It's not in inner city. So it's not in inner city Jeannette, inner city Greensburg, of course Pittsburgh, obviously.
Right, but it's also not necessarily farm. You know,
Correct.
it's in neighborhoods. It's in your residential neighborhoods. It doesn't have to be out in the country.
I might be wrong, but I think the city of Latrobe is all USDA.
A lot of it is USDA.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right.
So can't necessarily roll it out. You know,
right.
whenever you're looking at
right.
that.
There's VA mortgages that are out there that are available.
VA is actually one that I forget about a lot. I don't even, you don't even think to ask people to have it. And
If they're right, and I always ask.
You do.
Because it's a program that's out there that has 100% financing also available, and there's no MI insurance, so it's really good for the borrower. And you're a veteran, you serve the country, it would be great to have us be able to give back and offer a good program for it.
And the seller pays for the pest inspection for that.
Seller pays for the pest, they've got limited closing cost. It's just a great program.
Yeah.
FHA mortgages obviously are out there. You have a little bit less money out of pocket, you have a 3.5% down.
Sure.
That's a great program.
Sure, absolutely. So what would you say, my favorite thing is the deal killers. So we have deal killers all the time. You know, you go through, you think everything's going fantastic, and then all of a sudden, it's not. Right? I mean, won't we run into that? I mean, we run into that. Thankfully, not often we run into it, but we do run into it.
Absolutely. Yes. The biggest thing that I can say, and be upfront with your loan officer, let them know if something's going on, if there's been any changes, if there's any job changes, if there's just something that has happened that might affect it. The more upfront that you are with the loan officer, the smoother it's going to go.
You're right, and that's what, so to kind of go off of that, on my end of things, I see it all the time where if people just would have told the truth from the beginning, like number one, the bank's going to find out, no matter what, they're going to find out. So you might as well tell the truth up front so we can work with it and get you there. And if we can't get you there, then you'll find out really early. Better to find out really early than 2 weeks down the line when we find out. Then we got to go back all the way to the beginning, start it again, and then you find out.
And then it's just everybody's going to be upset.
By that time, you're out of a home inspection, you're out of an appraisal money, you're out of money, not out of money hopefully, but you've lost a good bit of money.
And you've lost time.
A lot of time.
Right.
With the way that
when
houses
things
are
can
going.
just go
That's
very
right.
smooth.
That's right.
Right.
Deal killers. What else?
Deal killers. Do not open credit. Once you have applied for a mortgage, don't add any debt to your credit.
Don't buy a Ferrari.
Don't decide, you're right, don't decide to go buy a new Ferrari. Just because something is a 12 months same as cash, it counts.
Furniture.
It's still debt.
Okay, so this is what we run. This is what I run into, and I always remind everybody because it's so easy to not think about. You know, you're buying a new house. It's probably bigger than what maybe an apartment or an older house, and you need to fill this space. So you go, oh, let's just go take looks. You walk into the store. You go, we're just looking, right?
It's like, oh.
So then you find stuff you really like. There's a really great salesperson, and they go, well, you know, we could get this for you, same as cash. You know, you could. There's no financing fee. And so you're like, well, this is it. You know, I'm getting in my house. I'm closing next week.
I can do this.
Let's do it. You know, can you deliver it next week? Yeah, of course. They deliver it next week. You buy it. You just lost your loan, and you didn't even think about it. So you have to.
Right.
You have to just wait.
Just talk.
Yep.
Right. Or just
Or talk. You're right. See if you can do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Before you sign on something, before you open something, just check.
Because we're not saying that you can't do it. It just depends on how close you are.
In the debt ratio and what
Right.
type of loan program, and you know, are you guys already maxed out at where we need to be for it? Because a lot of times just that couple dollars can throw the debt ratio over where you would be approved
Absolutely.
for it.
You can buy a microwave and it could set you over. Seriously. Let's see. Let me think. So what's one thing that you would tell first-time home buyers? Like,
the first thing that I would say, get pre-qualified. Get pre-qualified for a mortgage. It's the best way to know, first of all, the price range that you want to be in, what type of down payment that you're looking at out of pocket. It puts your expectations into true figures. At that point in time also, when you're meeting with Dan, you can go and say, I already have my pre-approval letter. I'm all ready. So when I want to make an offer right away, I'm prepared. I have a pretty good idea what I need to do.
and all of Barb's information is down there if you wanted to call her for a
Yes,
pre-approval.
please do.
But let me say something too, Barb, because this is why I also say that I think people should get pre-qualified early. If they come to me thinking that they can afford a $200,000 house, I take their word for it. We go out there, I show them $200,000 houses, they fall in love with 5 of them, and they go, okay, we want to put an offer in one, let's go get pre-approved. They call you, you give them the bad news that they're only pre-qualified for 150.
Right, right.
So now guess what? We go out, we look at houses that are 150. You're not going to like any of them because
Right.
the difference of 200 and 150 is a whole lot of house.
Sure it is.
So
Sure it is. It puts expectations where they need to be. You know, you have an idea, so before you fall in love with something,
absolutely.
you know if you can afford it.
And lastly, because we still are on foreclosures, I do want to hit a foreclosure. This, even though we're not in a foreclosure, talk a little bit about foreclosures because they're definitely harder to lend on.
They are definitely harder to lend on. The biggest thing is if you are looking at a foreclosure home, make sure that it is being handled through a real estate agency. It must be, because if it's a sheriff's sale, generally we're not able to do any type of lending on that because you don't have access to the property. For a mortgage, you have to have an appraisal that needs to be done, utilities need to be on and working, and that's what we run into even when it's listed through a real estate agent, is a lot of times just the accessibility of the property, if any repairs are needed, and a lot of times it's condition of the property,
Sure.
depending on what you're looking to qualify
And the
for.
banks a lot of times won't let you repair the property. So if the bank says, well, I'm sorry, if the lender says you have to repair it, and the bank that owns the property says you're not allowed to repair it,
You're at a standstill.
you're stuck.
Right.
Then you gotta go. No, just kidding. So I guess, is there anything else that we want to leave them with? Just maybe to...
I don't think so. Just get pre-qualified first. If you're looking for a mortgage, please call me. I would be happy to help you. And I've worked with Dan a lot in the past, and he's been great.
Barb,
So-
here's the one thing about you. This is what I like about you, Barb, is that Barb is so descriptive in the process. So going through it, like, you are on it every step of the way. Everybody knows exactly where they stand, and if they don't understand it, you're so good at describing it to them.
Thank you.
So, you know, everybody, like, it's one thing sometimes when you're working with a lender, I'll get the customers that'll come to me and go, I have no idea what they're asking for. I have no idea what's going on. But in the cases that we've worked with, a lot of times my customers are coming to me and going, well, blah, 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 and they like talk as if they know exactly what they're talking about, and I think that's fantastic.
Thank
So,
you.
especially for
appreciate
first-time
that.
home buyers, even if you bought before and you think you know everything, but still, Barb is definitely there to describe everything for you, to lead you on your way. She's absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you. And my cell phone number is in the information. If you're looking over a weekend, I'm available 7 days a week. You can always contact me. So,
Okay.
a little bit different than a bank.
Absolutely. Well, let's walk around a little bit.
Okay,
So,
that sounds great.
so they kind of flipped this property. They did
It's a nice job.
They did a nice job. So
Yes.
the person who flipped it, he actually owns a flooring company. Oh, maybe I can get him on here one week, or her. But anyway, so they put fresh carpeting, painted throughout. We can take a walk into the kitchen.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice size.
They did a really nice job on the
Yeah.
kitchen. So this house is in Jeannette. It's for sale for $50,000. You can call me anytime to show the house if you want to take a look at it. It might even could be a good investment property for a rental, anything. But they replaced all the
I was gonna
cabinets,
say they did a
new
nice
flooring
job.
in, and back here there's kind of like, I'm trying to think of what kind of room that you would call this. Like, this space back here could be used for many different things.
Mudroom, pantry.
A mudroom, a pantry, a small dining room, even though you have an eat-in kitchen. Could also be used as like almost like a sunroom, a playroom. There you go. Actually, that's such a great idea because
Yeah.
I didn't even think of a playroom, but you're right. I had
Being right off the
somebody,
kitchen is
I had
nice.
somebody the other day say that there was an office off of the kitchen, and normally I would say put it as an office. And then the mother said, you know, that would be a perfect playroom
Right,
because it's right off the kitchen, and she's
Right.
if she's in the kitchen, the kid
Then they're
can be
right there,
fine.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So this house does come with a double lot, double flat lot,
Fenced in.
fenced in.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see. Let's take a walk upstairs real quick. I think.
Yeah, it's really nice. Good job. Oh, gee, thanks. I do horrible on steps. Oh,
Let's turn on. Did some work into the
really
bathroom.
nice.
It's just different. What I like about this is it's different. It's not the typical bathroom where you just put like tan tile up,
Right.
you put, I don't know, just the plain flooring up. Like they actually did different things about it, and I think that's so cool with this property.
Yeah.
It's
They
just,
did the wainscoting
it's just very
and,
unique.
Yeah, very nice.
The sunlight in this room is phenomenal. You know, we have some great sunlight, fresh paint job, new light fixtures.
Very nice.
But anyway, so that concludes our session. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Barb, I'm sure, will be checking them as well to see if, make sure you tag her. You'll probably get the questions
Okay.
anyway. But, and any questions for me, or if you want to take a look at this beautiful house, please feel free to give me a call. And that concludes our episode
Thank
of
you.
For Sale Friday.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Barb.
much. Thank you.
You got it. Have a great day.